Happy day girls, good morning. Welcome to another new class of social media communication. We have already seen the convergence of social media, its relevance, its evolution, its types and the key characteristics of social media. Now we are going to see the most important and the most relevant topic that is being discussed in everyday's life, which is strategizing and planning. Brands these days look at social media for a better planning and for planning for neat campaigns and campaigns that run across a period of 3 to 6 months. So planning is the most crucial and is the most important aspect when it comes to brands and social media. The traditional advertising is there, but right now it's been replaced by or replaced with the social media because we have seen the characteristics, it to be inexpensive and it's many to many, it gets spread quite easily. So we have seen the characteristics as multiple things. So now we are going to see how strategizing is important in different social media platforms. Say it for Facebook, how we are going to implement strategies. For Twitter, how we are going to implement strategies. For WhatsApp, for other social media apps, how the strategies are going to help in building a brand's communication and the brand's message to be conveyed to public. Now we are going to see how brands can advertise themselves in different social media platforms, including Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and so on. So we are going to see how unique features are there to enhance a brand's growth or to build a brand's image in these particular platforms. How and where the data lies and what sort of users are there predominantly for all these platforms, giving an overview of how the platforms can help or can enhance already the brand's image. So we're going to see one by one in how the planning and strategizing will help the brand's image to boost in the consumer's minds. So if you see, the digital landscape can be divided into 3 phases. The 3 phases are the first one being the portals, and the second one being the search engines, and the third one is the social networking. So the portals, we often go to the portals like Yahoo, like search engine portals like Yahoo, like Google and everything to search or to get more information about a particular thing. Say for example, I am going to purchase a red footwear, a red shoes. So my search would include red shoes. Instead of mentioning brands, first I will look at my important 2 categories or my important 2 features that I would look in for a red shoes is the color red and my the 2 important features that I'm looking in to make a purchase of shoes is the color red, and the other one is the money that I'm going to put in. So how my searches is going to be is, or how my search wordings is going to be is red shoes, which is less expensive or which is affordable. So these 2 are the main or the most important things that a commoner or a common person would be searching in for. So if you notice, the portals helps us obviously to navigate in a sense to connect with multiple number of things that matches my search. My search is obviously, what is my search? My search is red shoes, which is quite affordable. So these 2 things, whatever they are matching, will be the display of the ones that comes in the portal. Next one is the search engines. As I said, search engines, there are multiple search engines where it will navigate your results. In a sense, it will filter your results. It will filter of what is mostly asked by the consumer or what is mostly searched by the consumer through your portal. So my red shoes and inexpensive obviously gets much more filtered, and it lists down, the search engines lists down the number of websites which offer the combination of red shoes plus the inexpensive portal or the inexpensive platform. The third one being the social network sites like Facebook helps a consumer to narrow down his search to just to pick a combination of red shoes plus inexpensive. So this is how the networking takes place, and this is why our importance of landscaping, digital landscape, which includes the portal, which includes the search engines and the social networks. Okay, now we are going to see a little bit of data to see actually from where the internet has grown till where, or till how the internet has grown ever since 1990. 1990 was the first website which was introduced in the year 1990, followed by 1993. Within a span of 3 years, you could see a vast increase in the number of websites which were created, which has gone up to 130. And next is in 1995, we have 16 million users of the internet itself. And in 2009, we have 738 million internet users only in Asia. So you can see in by July 7, 2020, almost around 560 million users are there only in the Indian country itself. So you could see how from 1990 onwards, the usage of internet and the usage of internet has increased multifold across a span of 30 years. So that is how the use of internet is seen in the last few years itself. Now we are going to see some steps which involves in a successful social media strategy. So for a brand to get introduced itself to its consumers, or for a brand to reposition itself, or for a brand to establish itself a better image amongst its consumers, strategizing and planning is quite important. So what do you see in this picture? You see a lens, you see a path, you see a hands, you see the main crux of the picture is the focus, or it's the vision through which you are having much clarity to see something in what is there in front of you. So the vision is very important. As we have seen, the first step is to establish a clear, focused vision for what your brand envisions itself and what your brand exactly stands for. The next step we are going to see is, you can see a lot of words there. The most important aspect is the commitment. So the commitment what we have for the brand's image, the brand what it commits itself to the consumers, what it is planning to give for the consumers is what is the next important thing. So in the commitment, we are going to see as to what the message is, what the brand intends itself in giving to the consumers, how it's going to give to the consumers. So the second most important aspect is the commitment. Obtain commitment from management. The third step is determine prospects and customer personas. It's obviously when you buy a product, the first question is what they ask is, are you satisfied? How the levels of satisfaction is determined there. How much are you satisfied? Would you come back again? Will you recommend this product to your friends? Is the purchase giving you quite happiness? Are you happy with the product? Is the experience quite enriching that you would be recommending it to your friends and families? So the commitment levels and the prospects of encouraging your consumers to come back to you again and again is quite very important. So the first one is sell the improved product. How would you sell the product? It's a complete chain. So how would you sell the product? As said, if the selling process is fine or not, and then comes ask the consumers if they like the new product. You would test from the consumers if they are liking the new product in multiple various steps by either questionnaires or direct phone calls or through any methods. You are asking the consumers if they really like the product or not. And then you, based on the feedback that comes from the consumers, you fix the changes for the existing product and give it back to a new set of consumers or to the existing consumers to increase the database of your consumers. So the third step is to determine prospect consumers, to get more number of consumers who would consume your product. Next one is set goals. Prioritize and set goals. So creating goals is very important. The creating goals is also important for the brand's image to boost amongst the consumers as well on a longer run how the brand can be perceived by the consumer's mind, in the consumer's mind. So setting the image or the setting the goals is the most important step while you are looking at strategizing or engaging in a brand building exercise for a particular product or for a particular brand, even in social media. The next one is what you see in this picture. Something which stands out amongst the consumers or amongst the products, amongst its competitors, it's standing still and tall. So which is developing tactics to achieve your goals. So you need to develop quite interesting tactics to stand out from your competitors, from your peers, and to convince the consumers that yes, this is what I'm looking at in a particular brand, this is what I'm looking at in a particular product. If I buy this, all my problems are solved. So the brands or the products should act like a solution to the consumers. So the consumers need to somewhere identify that this particular product is the solution to all my problems. So you need to develop tactics which would make you stand out in the market, which would make you compete amongst your competitors, which would make you run first or come first amongst your peers as well. The next step is, what is this? You could see the picture, you could correlate with the picture, connect with the pictures. You could see people, you could see tools, you could see economy, or you could see money. So tools is important in fixing your problems or in fixing the strategies or developing a strategy. So resources allocated to achieve goals. So the resources allocated to achieve goals, what are the resources in creating your product? What are the resources? Where are my resources available? So if my particular product, if there is a Banaras silk sari which is available to the consumers on Facebook, so where are my tools, or where are my resources? So a consumer should obviously, the two important things that he needs to be having is a Facebook account, and he must be following the Banaras silk sari page. So you need to have these two important things. So for that you need to develop your resources, and the resources should be approaching you as a consumer only if you show interest as a consumer. The Banaras silk sari portal or the Banaras silk sari group will be approaching you. So the resources are very much developed, or resources needs to be very much developed based on the interest levels of the consumers. The interest levels of the consumers might range from, as I said, a red shoes, to that of a Banaras sari, to that of a pen, to that of a home gardening. It can be anything. The ranges can be anything. But to fit the consumers, the niche audience range or the niche audience expectations is very, very important. If not Facebook, what else? If not Snapchat, what else? If not Pinterest, what else? So there is expectations rising amongst the consumers, and the brands also needs to meet up with the expectations of the consumers. The next step is creating suitable content for suitable platforms. As I said, there is Facebook, there is Pinterest, there is WhatsApp, there is Twitter, there is Snapchat. For everything, the brands advertise quite differently, because the audience are different, the age groups are different, the range of people who are using Twitter age group is different from that of an Instagram. In Instagram, there is more of younger audience and college going and school going children who are using Instagram more, whereas Twitter is for a more knowledgeable crowd, or more crowd who are looking at hard news. Hard news sells quite very well in Twitter. So there is immediate updates on Twitter, which is what is primarily focused by 35 plus of age group. So the content is very, very important. The content to suit various platforms or various mediums is again very, very important. Okay, so the next step is planning and creating content. So Instagram, you guys know how the usage of filters is important, the usage of photographic display is important, the grid rule is important in Instagram. The same thing with Facebook, you can go live on Facebook, same thing in Instagram, you can go Insta live, and same thing with Facebook, you can go for short videos, and short reels are also available in Facebook. And short description videos as to how the product is, look and feel, influencers, everything is available. The same the same brand on a Twitter, it's mostly it's mostly advertised based on few words. So the words will actually catch hold of audience interest. So that's how the platforms vary from one another. So in YouTube, you know how to create a vlog. A vlog helps or adds more subscribers, which has a combination of content where you can record a video plus add a content in the form of a blog. So if you hit 10,000 and odd subscribers, and how will you hit 10,000 and odd subscribers? If your content is original, if your content has frequency in updation, not waiting for ages, but you have content to update quite frequently, quite often, and you have integrity in the content, and there is consistency in your content development, and you have a strong subscriber base. And if the subscribers hit a 10,000 a number, 10,000 and odd numbers, YouTube has the capacity to pay you. So that's how you can you yourself can become an influencer. So that's how the social media platforms are raising money, and independent persons or independent influencers are being recognized and identified as through this influencer platform. So the creation of content is quite important, as the social media platforms is a range where you have multiple sources of content can be updated in terms of voice messages, in terms of images, in terms of vlogs, in terms of videos, in terms of short micro posts, in terms of mere pictures with just few captions. So anything, it is readily available. So there is multiple options, and even you can see the rise in podcasts, which are also a new platform where people can speak about anything which is free of cost. Content on social media platforms where your consumers are. This is what I've been saying from the beginning. You know where exactly your consumers are. As I said, the users of Twitter are not the users of Instagram. The users of Instagram are not the users of WhatsApp. So you need to know the varied range of users and what your product is and for whom the product is being targeted. So from the list of options that is available, ranging from Pinterest, Snapchat, WhatsApp, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, you should be able to identify the niche consumers, identify the niche audience, and communication needs to be developed to suit only the people who want to do home gardening, the people who want to do only cooking, the people who want to do only baking and not cooking. So that much of a wide variety or that much of a wide range of options are available. So you need to create content that would choose specific audience or on specific platforms. So choosing the platform where your consumers are there, identifying the platform is the most important step. The next one is you need to see if your steps or you need to see if your strategies have worked out very well or not. How will you measure your strategy? How will you ensure your strategy is being worked out very well or not? You need this analysis or you need analytical tools which would give you the results as to how engaging your post was, how engaging your audience were, at what time your audience were quite engaging, at what time they were very, very active. So there are data which would actually give you the users, when are they active? Early morning, 6 to 7, housewives are active, or housewives are active when they finish their morning course around say 12 o'clock onwards till 3 o'clock onwards. They are quite active usage of social media. And the same way office goers while on the go to travel, they are quite active. They read news, they engage in some conversations with friends, so they communicate with each other. So you need to understand when is the right time, when is the right time to communicate to your audience, and when is the right time you can expect your audience to reply back to you. So that is called what is called as the engagement. Engagement in terms of creating engaging content for which the consumers are engaging themselves in the post, or in reading the post, or in updating the post, or in participating in terms of contests, or in participating in terms of giveaways and anything. That strategy lies in the brands to build itself to reach the consumers. So you have multiple tools through which the analysis, through which the audience measurement is given, which exactly gives you when the audience engagement is quite at the peak, during the weekends or during the weekdays, at what time, which age group is quite active, which age group is quite active in the morning, daytime, noon, as well in the evenings. So the data gives you so that you post your correct, or you post your you post your messages correctly at those specific times. So you have content analysis, you have analytics, which gives you reach, which gives you engagement, which gives you the actual action taken. So all these SurveyMonkey, Google Analytics and NetVibes, all this gives you enough and more data as to how your post is favored amongst your consumers. So these data are very much needed for the brands to build themselves, not just right now, also for their future campaigns as well, favored amongst your consumers. So these data are very much needed for the brands to build themselves, not just right now, also for their future campaigns as well. The results, so measuring and monitoring the results of how successful the campaign has, or how successful the brands have established themselves in reaching out to the consumers, in reaching out to their desired audience. 10 steps which helps in strategizing for a brand on social media. So the first one is you need to have a clear vision. Next one is you need to have commitment in developing strategies, and you need to have commitment in planning necessary steps for brand building. Next one is you need to identify the correct consumers for the correct product. Next is you need to set goals, prioritize what your goals are, create what your goals are, and to suit the campaigns. The campaigns might differ from time and again. To suit a particular campaign, what are your goals? So to setting the goal is next step, and then is strategizing, developing tactics which would help you to gain your goals, or which would help you to reach your goals. So next one is that, and next is using the necessary tools or the resources allocated, using them to reach to your goals again. And next is creating content that would suit different platforms or different mediums, and to choose the content and to choose the platforms where your audience exactly are. So that's the next step, planning and creating content, and you publish the content where exactly your consumer is. And next is measuring your content. Is it reached quite well to the audience or not, through using various measuring tools, measuring and monitoring the result. And the final step is to modify, rinse and repeat these steps. So to modify the content, or rinse the content in different platforms and repeat it if it's quite successful, or to redo it, or to strategize it differently for your next campaign, whichever is suiting. With this, the class comes to an end. Thank you very much for your patient listening. We'll see you again in the next class.